On this episode of our K24 MX-5, we look at the awesome custom parts that we've installed, we do some work twice, and we install our engine and transmission into the car. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a very exciting day because we are putting the K24 into Matt's Miata here. Now, this swap is a KPower swap, so we have all the KPower stuff on this. We have the KPower receiving motor mounts in the engine, and Matt will just take you around this real quick to show you what we've done to this motor in case you haven't been following the whole series so far.
Yeah, so let's start from the top. Up top we have this modified valve cover. So this face right here was cut off and replaced by a aluminum plate that was welded in just so there's more hood clearance. Down here a little further we have the front timing cover. This is a single cast piece from KPower that I really like. What else? There's a little bit more going on underneath that you can't see, like a different timing chain guide up here to fit under this valve cover. We have the engine mounts down here on both sides. We relocated the oil filter up here from down here. And underneath we have the KPower aluminum oil pan that will fit over the stock subframe. Moving around back, we have the transmission bell housing adapter plate that you can see sandwiched between the engine and transmission. And here are the clutch lines that are running from the concentric slave on the transmission. Over on this side, I think this is the last thing we can see outside, but this adapter, your heater hose adapter from the thermostat housing got rid of that big metal pipe that was on the stock engine and kind of ran all the way back here. So now I can just run a generic heater hose from here up to this port that will come out of the intake.
Sweet. And then also in there, there is a different custom oil pump.
Yes, so it starts with the stock RSX Type S, I think, or K20 Type S oil pump. And there's part of it that's machined away to, again, fit with this oil pan, the rest of the engine. Also that it fits over the stock subframe.
So all of those parts that Matt just talked about were off the shelf from KPower. I have them linked down below if you want to check out doing the swap for yourself. Now that this engine is basically all prepared, all we have to do is basically lift it up and drop it into the car on the motor mounts, and this thing should just go right in if all goes well. Some little things that we have to do to make this process easier are take off that shifter right there so we have a little bit more clearance. When we pulled this thing out, we did not remove that shifter and we sort of dragged that against the inside of the tunnel in there, and it made it a little bit difficult, so we'll pull that off and then hopefully it should be smooth sailing. All that extra clearance. Nice. So right now we're just lifting up the front of the car a tiny bit so we could clear with this engine hoist. Right now I'll show you. Under here we don't really quite have enough clearance, so we're just trying to get a little bit of extra clearance and then we'll get this thing in. So far this is going smoothly, and as we showed you, all of those custom parts should make it really easy to just plop this motor in there, bolt it up, and be pretty much good to go. If you were going to do a build completely from scratch, it would not be this easy because you would have to figure out all those parts yourself to make it work.
This shield is supposed to go under here.
Ladies and gentlemen, in today's video we are disassembling our entire KSwap kit because we didn't put this little plate on right there, so Matt's going ahead and putting that back on there. It does show you how easy this kit makes this because with the engine out of the car and everything, we totally disassembled everything in about probably 45 minutes or so, and now we'll put it back together and then finally get this motor in the car. Alright, so now about 2 hours later, we're back to where we were this morning and we are ready to get this thing into the car. Alright, so we're making good progress here. We do need to line up those motor mounts with the receiving part of the motor mounts, which are right about down there. I know it's dark and it's hard to see, but we need to just keep maneuvering this thing around and drop it in. All right, so we got the passenger side lined up. Now we're trying to get this driver's side lined up.
It gets through half of it very easily.
Yeah, there it is.
That's
nice.
it. Sweet.
All right, next thing Matt's gonna do here is go under there, put in the power plant frame bolts. If you don't know, Miatas have basically a torque arm that runs the length of the car and helps support the engine and the rest of the drivetrain. And we're just trying to get that back in there so when we disconnect our engine hoist, this engine doesn't flop back in the engine bay. All right, so those are the bolts that we just got in there, and this piece right here is that frame member that I was talking about. That's the torque arm to sort of secure the whole power plant, and we're just getting that all set up. All right, we got this thing in here. I am so excited, and we cannot wait to pull this cover off and see this K24 in here for the first time with that beautiful red valve cover, and we're getting really close. Matt's just unstrapping this right now, and then we'll take a look. All right.
All right, you wanna
Let's see
take
it.
the other side?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Wow! Damn, that
it.
thing looks good.
Jeez, look at that.
That is awesome. All right, the engine's in here and oh my God, it looks so good. So we are extremely happy with how that went. It actually was really smooth getting the engine in there and we're really just pretty excited about it. And in the next episode, we're gonna be dressing this engine up and putting the intake on it, putting the exhaust on it and getting it much closer to a running and driving car. If you wanna see that right now, you could head over to my Patreon page. That video is live right there, as are a lot more videos on this build. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it. If you want to subscribe to see more of this car and tons of other content, subscribe, and I hope you stick around for the next one. Take care.